Folks, what do we think? Are tariffs effective or not? I'm imagining I'm going to get different answers from each of you, but Senator Heitkamp, I'll start with you.
Well, I mean, absolutely not. Let's quit calling them tariffs. Let's start calling them taxes. So we're imposing taxes on the American people to basically achieve a political result in China. Okay, so you can say, well, what has happened in the past that's been successful? We can talk about what the other strategies are going to be, but what we need to understand is that now we are engaged in a trade conflict. I won't call it a trade war with China, and China is very strategic. So what did China do to American farmers? They didn't just impose a 25% tariff on soybeans, they quit buying soybeans. And so when you look at what the possibilities are for retaliation in China on this policy, it has tremendous effects on ongoing and historic relationships with where we're going to head with China. So are we engaging? No, Joe, are we engaging?
I know you're a moderate Democrat, but is this the first tax that you've ever spoken badly about? I mean, I don't understand. I thought you always want to do taxes to affect social change in this country. Now, this tax you don't like because it's against.
No, I'm saying if you're going to do it, call it a tax. Let's be realistic about what it is. No, what I'm saying is that let's understand that the consequences are on the American consumer.
Okay.
The consequences are in the American economy, and we have not evaluated them. You know, this is a president who literally thinks taxes are the solution to every problem that we're having in the world, and that is a dangerous economic analysis and a dangerous economic policy.
Dan, what do you think?
I don't know where to begin after that rant. My goodness, Senator. There are significant Democrats that don't agree with you at all and are very supportive of dealing with China harshly, and for good reason, because we're in an existential battle. I represent a number of farmers and ranchers in my Coalition for a Prosperous America, which I am chairman of, and they all support the president because they get the bigger picture. They get the fact that we are in an existential battle with China that's much more than about soybeans or steel or corn or anything else. They get it. They know what we're involved with here. And you could call it a tax for political purposes because tax is like a four-letter word during an election season. But it's a tariff, no doubt. It also puts a tax on imported products to a point. But I'll tell you what's actually going on here is that, and I've had a number of people in the transportation and commodity business tell me this, what happens is the Chinese get together with the domestic folks and they say, okay, we'll absorb half the tariff, you absorb half the tariff, okay? This is not driving itself through to the American consumer. Inflation has not gone up. We put a study out, and several other people have too, that the American consumer has not seen a negative impact here, and they're all forecasts of $800 a year.
What price do you? What price do you? Mexico? Did you agree with this? I mean, it wasn't
absolutely.
Even you do.
Absolutely.
That's a totally different. That's not trade. It's not an existential threat. That's a trading partner.
I'll tell you exactly what Mexico was, Joe. It was a president who has gotten no cooperation from a do-nothing Democratic Congress, and a crisis that exists at our border, which is real. Anybody that says otherwise is just talking politics and not reality. And so he used the only tool he could, because the Congress was not working with them, to get Mexico's attention, and he did, and it's a major victory, and the farmers will be just fine, Senator. The farmers will be just fine.
I think it's a pathetic statement to say the only tool the President of the United States has.
It was the only tool because you all would not work with them.
A viable trade policy is a tariff. That is absolutely the problem.
Oh, I see you've come a little bit more angry this time.
The reason why he uses tariffs, let's be honest about it, is it's the only thing he can do unilaterally. It's a shortcut for what we should be doing for establishing long-term trade relationships.
He got the results, Senator. You can't argue with that. And he is working for the American people, not for the politicians.
Honestly, don't listen to me. Listen to the National Retail Federation, the Chamber of Commerce, all of the trade groups that are basically apoplectic about the utilization of tariffs to solve every problem
that
there is.
The same trade groups that got us into this mess to begin with, Senator, the same trade groups that got us into this mess. The president knows what he has to do. God bless him for taking the strong action. China's not our friend or enemy.
Can I ask both of you, do you anticipate that at the end of this negotiation, there will be a trade deal cut between the United States and China. Dan, your expectation?
I don't have strong expectations that there will be a viable deal. The Chinese have already demonstrated that they are not serious negotiators. I know the president knows that. Where it ends up is anybody's guess at this time. People can forecast it. I don't see that a strong trade deal is actually going to get done.
Do the farmers and ranchers that you have in your coalition, do they feel okay with that if the end result is no deal? Because most of the farmers we've spoken to say we can understand what the president's doing right now, and we're on board if we do get to the point where this is resolved.
But at the end of this entire process, whether there's a deal or not, the American farmers and ranchers will not be impacted. They'll be supported. They will find other markets for their products. They're very resilient, and they understand that this is a major existential, I can't overuse the word, battle between China and the United States in a trade war, and I'll use the term trade war, that China started 25 years ago. We didn't start it. They did. We finally got a president who says enough's enough. The American people are with him.
You know, the idea that you can replace on a dime in a short period of time the soybean market in China is ignorant. I mean, it literally is an ignorant statement
from the president.
Because you should talk to the people who market soybeans, because that's not what they would tell you.
Senator, even the Washington Post said that this latest deal, we've extracted more from Mexico in terms of assistance in, being able to maybe it's not the safe third country yet, but maybe we don't know. We're hearing the possibility there is some deal understood there if this doesn't work. But this is more than, even the Washington Post said, this is more than anyone thought we could actually get from Mexico's leaders in terms of assisting us with border security. You don't think anything good happened from that tariff threat at all?
No, I don't. I think that
you don't think the agreement is good?
At the end of the day, I think there were very many things that can happen that we could have done to engage. So, if
nothing good came out of that? It's just a total...
What I'm saying is that we basically have said, as American people, that we are going to threaten disruption and, in fact, violation of whether we call it the USMCA or NAFTA to advance a purpose that is not economic or trade related.
How well are the Democrats treating the USMCA?
And that is a very, very dangerous utilization of economic policy to achieve a national security result. Now, the one thing that I think that absolutely has to be discussed is the unilateral utilization of taxes to achieve whatever purpose. It's almost like you get a tariff and you get a tariff and you get a tariff. There is no problem in America that it can't be solved by a tariff, I guess, at this point. But the president has the unilateral ability to impose a tax, 25% tax,
which was given by Congress,
and actually then waive it. Right, given by Congress years ago, and the idea that a president could be more responsible than this president's been with that power, and that needs to change.
This president's working for the American people. I wish you would too.
The unilateral tax, that sounds like Obamacare to me.
Oh, my.
Doesn't it, though? I mean, the unilateral levy.
That was passed by Congress.
That can't be introduced relative to tariffs.
No, but just unilaterally.
Obamacare passed through Congress.
I mean, honest to goodness.
Without a single Republican vote.
Yeah, but it passed through Congress.
And the taxes passed without a single Democratic vote.